We know when it comes to Boston, we're known for lobster rolls, Boston baked beans, and we're definitely known for the North Shore beef. But the most popular food in the Boston area is New England clam chowder. I'm going to go to all of the heavyweight spots, all of the seafood shacks to show you the very best clam chowder in the area. And can there be one that can match my homemade chowder? Good luck. What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel where I share my passion for food and New England, especially food here in the Boston area. Now, when it comes to Boston food, I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. One particular food gets it. That's not true. There's a couple. Whenever I do a pasta dish, whatever I'm doing seafood, I get excited. The most popular food in the Boston area is clam chowder. It's the best stew/soup on the planet. And if you want it done right, you got to come to this area. Now, where do you get the best? Where you get just good when you're in the area, or try to avoid the drizzling shits? That's why you're on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. I'm going to adventure out in the entire Boston area to find the very best clam chowder. There's no better place to start than the Clam Box of Ipswich. Let's go to work. My favorite segment of the Drizzling Shits returns. This first spot is not in the category of the Drizzling Shits, but it's overrated. Neptune Oyster is one of the best Boston seafood restaurants, but the clam chowder is suspect. It is way too thin of a broth. The broth does not supersede the cream. There's barely any clams in it. The potatoes, the texture is perfect, but it's a very disappointing and overrated clam chowder. Come here for the rest of the menu and their hot and buttered lobster roll, people, and you will be pleased. Just don't get their clam chowder. This is how a clam chowder is supposed to look. That's the thickness you want. I went all the way up to Portland, Maine to have the most overrated restaurant I've ever had when it comes to a lobster roll and a clam chowder. I was excited to peek at the menu and see salt pork. That's what you want to see. You do not want to see bacon. You don't want your clam chowder that tastes like a barbecue and smoky. You want salt pork. It's old school. I didn't mind the thickness of the broth, but they had 1 million potatoes in here and only 2 clams, and the clams were steamers, the cheapest clams possible. This place right here is the best clam chowder in the area, and if you guys are fortunate enough, by the time I'm done showing all these places, I will show you where to get it. It's also the same place where you get the best lobster roll in all of New England. Not just Boston, all of New England. If you're fortunate enough, I will take the time to make a cooking video and show all of you not only how to do a good clam chowder, but how to do the very best. If I ever did any vlog for fried scallops, this is where I would go. There's plenty of parking on this site, guys, which is always key, and there's plenty of seating outside, just not obviously this time. Well, usually in the summertime, this line is out the door. Not gonna happen in February though. This isn't really necessarily the time to have fried clams in February, but it is the perfect time to have clam chowder. A nice stew, a nice soup to warm you up. Excited about this. I gotta tell you, most people can't tell you what their top 5 restaurants are. I can. This is one of them. Ipswich's Clam Box is very consistent. I'm excited to have their clam chowder. I love their fried clams, love their fried scallops, best in the world. You guys want fried seafood, this is where you go. Is this where you go for the best clam chowder in Boston? We're going to find out. And can this clam chowder beat out mine? I seriously doubt that. The reason why this clam shack's better than everyone else, they actually clean out, not filter, clean out their oil every day. There's bathrooms in house, plenty of seating, so they have the trilogy. I would absolutely love to try their lobster tail fried tails.
Those sound delicious. But this is why we're here, people. The clam chowder. If you take a look at the broth, you can notice right off the bat, it's not too thin, it's not too thick. It's right in between, which is how I prefer it. Although the older they get, the more thick I like the broth. The potatoes are perfect size, and I gotta tell you, they were perfectly cooked. They had a slight little bite to them. They weren't mashed potatoes. They weren't too hot. The only things that go on a clam chowder are oyster crackers and black pepper. That is it. No Tabasco sauce, no bullshit. We are not the South. We are not Maryland. We don't spice up the shit out of our seafood. We actually love the taste of seafood. Here in New England, we let the clams, we let the broth, we let the seafood do the talking, because it's the best in the world. I have to say the broth was a little balanced in flavor as far as tasting the cream as much as the broth, but it definitely wasn't more cream to a flavor than the broth, which is key. The potato texture was perfect. Perfect bite to it, and there was as much clams. As you can see, they're using your typical chowder chopped clams, quahogs. The clams were delicious. The broth was delicious. I was just hoping for a little less creamy taste and a little bit more clams, but this is your above average delicious clam chowder. Definitely worth getting again.
I'm in the car! So now I can talk shit. Was this clam chowder better than mine? Absolutely not. Is it one of the best clam chowders I've had so far in the Boston area, outside the Boston area? I will say it's above average. My ranking system, I tell you how much I paid for it, $10 and change, and I tell you how much it's worth. I don't believe you should ever pay $10 and change for a bowl of clam chowder. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I know that $15 is the new $10 today. So I'm going to play along with how the market is speaking right now. Most bowls of chowder are $10, $11 range. So this is worth the $10 and change that you're paying for it according to what everybody else is charging. I don't believe in charging $11 for a bowl of clam chowder. People got to make money. $6 would be the right price. What we're looking for chowder is simple. We want the cream to not supersede the taste of the broth. We want the potatoes to be cooked properly, still have a little bite to it, not be mushy or too hot. We want more clams than potatoes, or at least the ratio to be proper. The ratio was proper. A little bit more potatoes, that's okay. The potatoes were cooked properly. It could have been a little hotter bite, but they were good. And I do have about a half and half taste of the cream and broth. I want a little bit more of the broth, but it's fine. This is above average type chowder. The best place on the planet to get fried seafood. This is the Clam Box. Hit the subscribe button. This is the kind of content you're into, because I'm going to keep searching for the best clam chowder in the Boston area and one that might have the possibility and chance to match mine. Good luck. If this is the kind of content you're not into, then piss off. That's it, I'm done!